Can you hear me? Good. Now, strap yourself in and get ready for the next big pod. Your source for all the latest news from the world of boxing. From York Hall and the Echo Arena to Madison Square Garden and the bright lights of Las Vegas, we bring you the best and worst the sweet science has to offer. We've assembled a panel of experts from across the British Isles, as well as a star-studded roster of celebrity guests. So sit back, open a large packet of crisps, and enjoy a tasty slice of boxing chat, courtesy of the next big pod.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10th edition of the Next Big Pod, and the first ever live stream, I guess it would be, of the show. So anyone following along, feel free to pop any comments under the video on YouTube and send us tweets, etc. if you've got any questions. I'm joined by, in order of importance, Cal Stones, Sam Carpenter, Alex Morris, and Brian King. Brian, you want to say anything?
Fuck the Queen.
Oh dear. Brian's mask is not an official. It's not official Next Big Pod merchandise. I'm gonna say that right now. Okay, guys. So, assuming everyone can hear each other, I thought we could start off with a recap of Saturday. Flanagan, great performance. Magdaleno, awful, absolutely awful. And Liam Smith, we'll do Liam Smith later. Let's start off with Flanagan. I thought he did exactly what he should have done, to be honest. Alex, what did you think of that fight, mate?
Yeah, I think doing what he should have done was probably, a bit of an exaggeration. I don't think anyone really expected him to destroy Magdaleno like that. I mean, I thought that was a very big surprise. I mean, Magdaleno had a very bizarre sort of stance about him in the first round. We saw that very peculiar wide stance that he employed, and just the complete lack of balance that he had during that. Because of that, I mean, it just made him very susceptible, I think, to Flanagan's punches, and that
every punch he threw, he was off balance, wasn't he? I remember, I don't think I saw anyone picking a Flanagan KO. I genuinely don't think I saw anyone pick that. We all had him on points, I think, pretty much. We thought he might outbox him, but no one thought he'd blow him away.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, a late stoppage or something if he outboxed him, but no like absolute demolition that occurred. And I thought it was very impressive. I don't think that anyone predicted that, and it's really obviously raised his stock in the division. And although the division is incredibly weak, you have to consider him one of the best in the world, certainly. I mean, there's a few other guys that, potentially hold that title, Linares and Abril, if he's still even fighting, but,
he cemented his position as the 5th best lightweight in Britain, hasn't he? Behind Coyle, Crawler, Campbell and Mitchell.
Absolutely. I mean, well, maybe 4th now after that one. I think we certain ranking organisations can be a bit more generous. I mean, that was a good win. So.
Brian, what did you think, mate?
I thought it was quite a good performance. I know that there was a couple of Americans saying Magdaleno was quite a small lightweight and he wasn't actually a big super featherweight, but I think I picked that fight to go to points. It's not as if Flanagan's like a massive puncher either. He's more like a kind of volume puncher, but it was a great performance, wasn't it? Like, that uppercut was fucking sickening.
Yeah, that uppercut was brilliant.
Yeah, I'm not the type of person that likes to see somebody take a punch full force. I know people like Andy Patterson, he's right into fights like that where you usually see people getting waded right into, but I was kind of fucking hard seeing that. That was a belter of a punch, and I thought the referee done quite well. I know he could have maybe stopped that a lot earlier, and especially being in UK, you'd have thought it maybe would have got stopped earlier, but he did kind of let it go as long as he could possibly go. But Magdaleno looked as if he was like Bambi on ice, didn't he? Any time that he got close, it's as if he was fucking slipping. Don't know if it was on his shoes. Don't know if he was wearing kind of fucking high tech or something like that, pure shite gear. But he was just falling everywhere. But
They were all huge winging punches, weren't they? I don't think I saw him once. It was like one of the crudest performances I've seen. But yeah, I agree 100%. Thought the referee was excellent. Terry O'Connor, we give him a lot of shit because 90% of the time he is shit. But perfect stop. I thought couldn't complain at all.
I basically had Flanagan number 1 anyway. I'm a massive Ricky Burns fan, as everybody knows, but he's Zepeda fight. I know people turn around and say you can't really rank that, but at the end of the day, it's the same as like Danny Garcia. As much as like you don't like what happened in the fight, he got the win, so you need to include the win. You can't just kind of scrub it out of history and say, "Oh, fucking a performance. It should have been a no contest." Maybe it should have been, but at the end of the day, it comes under as a win. So he was the one that was holding the belt. Crawler didn't get the win. He's still to beat the champion. So he should have been number 1. These guy ranks were just fucking Spencer Farron probably fucking picking him, the big fucking stupid prick. But he's number 1, and I don't really care. I've still got Ricky Burns number 2. Ricky Burns, as much as like people turn around and say he's not really had a good win for a while. No, in my opinion, he beat Figueroa, and Figueroa is a better win than anything that MV's got at 135 £1 right now in Britain. So fuck the lot of them.
That wasn't a £135 fight.
I know it wasn't. If it was at welterweight, that's how bad it was, and that's how bad it was for Ricky, but how good a win it was. So, boom.
Bloody hell. We'll have to go back to this. We're doing a regular feature for future episodes, everyone, called Burns Night, which is obviously Brian talking about his passion. So we'll go into whether you can rank a loss against a guy in the division above as a better win in the division below, which is basically what Brian just said. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but we'll talk about it later. Sam, bring you in, mate. What did you think of Flanagan?
I thought he was really impressive. I was quite surprised. I certainly didn't expect him to blow him out like that as quick as he did. That uppercut that he was on about was like a sickening punch. That it snapped his head right back, and from then on he was fucked.
He was, wasn't he? And he just looked completely. He looked completely out of ideas from like 30 seconds in. Like he was sort of wade in and throw overhand punches, and Flanagan was like a good couple of inches taller, wasn't he? And it was so easy for him to step out of range and just keep him at the right distance.
Well, Magdaleno was sort of crouching down as well. It was weird. Like, what was he doing?
Yeah, and when you've got a size difference like that, like it made an absolute. I don't know if he was drained. I don't want to take anything away from Flanagan, but if that was the game plan, I can't believe that was the game plan, because Magdaleno is not a bad fighter. Like, I've seen him give good opponents tough fights, and he beat the shit out of what's his name, Gonzalez in when was that, in June maybe or something. His most recent fight, beat the shit out of Gonzalez, who beat the shit out of Ricky Burns in turn. So, triangle theories.
Oh, what a wanker.
He must have just thought Flanagan was nothing and he could just walk through him, and it backfired massively.
Yeah, possibly. He was really confident coming into it.
Because Top Rank was beating a lot of stuff as well.
And Top Rank were happy for him to go there. He was happy to go there. He wasn't. There was no hint of a sort of, it will be tough to win on the road. It was just, look, I'm coming here. I reckon I can get the job done. I guess maybe they, like Brian said, because the Zepeda win was a bit of a weird one. You haven't really seen Flanagan properly legitimate. I didn't really think it was a legit win, to be honest. You haven't seen him legitimately beat a top guy, so maybe he's got levels we haven't seen yet.
He didn't look good in that first round anyway, did he, Flanagan, really?
Yeah, it was. I thought Zepeda looked like he might have got to him.
Yeah.
But Zepeda's still number 3 in the rankings. I had a look today, so I mean that fight might happen down the line. And that'll be a good win for either guy if it does happen. Cal, are you there, mate, or are you off cooking?
No, I'm here.
Are you here? What did you think, mate, of Magdaleno's hair? As a man who likes a good hair.
To be honest, I quite liked his hair. I thought he was a good-looking fella. A lot better than that fucking rough fucking Flanagan, but no, it were quite good. You've got to be impressed when they go in there and fucking deal with him in 2 rounds when it was a close fight. Bookies had it close. A lot of people thought that Magdaleno might win, so got to give him credit for that.
Also, the Flanagan KO were pretty pretty good. Yeah,
When it's 2.5 or 3-1.
something like that. The money was all on a decision, I think.
Yeah, but I just had the double on the English guys to just win because I didn't really know how they were going to do it. But I thought it were either going to get to points and they'd get the decision anyway because it's in England and WBO love Frank, or they were going to get the knockouts because the guys were pretty shit. So
check out Cal fucking repping the flag. I just went for English guys. On you go, Rule Britannia, Cal. On yourself.
Fuck the English.
Right, so we weren't impressed with Magdaleno. We were impressed with Flanagan. Who would we like to see him fight next? If you're a fantasy matchmaker or whatever.
No. Rocky Bonds.
So yeah, but Brian, that won't happen though, will it? Unless Flanagan went to Hearn, which I really hope doesn't happen.
I tell you what, William Wallace went to York and sacked two fuckers. Ricky Burns can go over to Box Nation and sack Frank Warren. Fuck him right up, dirty bastard.
William Wallace went to some tent and cheated on his wife. Yeah.
Your hole, bro.
Oh dear. Right, we've already done about. It's been about 50% Burns chat already. This pod. It's ridiculous.
Only 50%.
Yeah,
we're slacking, guys. We're slacking. Come on.
Right,
right, now on to our other topic: Kell Brook being homosexual.
Go.
Kevin Mitchell being a quitting cunt.
Paul Smith being a fat bastard.
And that's the show. Goodbye, everyone.
We've got it in. Someone called Gallagher a cunt as well, and then we'll log out. Guys, I've got a list of a few names that Flanagan could actually find.
Look at the state of that.
Baby Bill.
She stopped being sick, yeah?
That was body that spewed at Wednesday Bell.
Yeah. Right. Oh, right, you got two. Okay, fine. Right, so I've got a list of names at 135 that Flanagan could feasibly fight. There aren't any promotional issues.
I know who he's going to fight.
Who?
Liam Walsh. He's already got one of the dodgy belts at the WBO.
Yeah, that's easy to make, isn't it?
Well, he can't stay not injured, can he, Liam Walsh? He's a sick note.
Well, so was fucking... Was it Nicky Cook? And Warren still fucking made that fight for Ricky Burns.
It's going to be dirty fucking Derry in it in December.
Well, I wouldn't be too bothered with that.
Wasn't Derry ranked for another belt? Isn't he like number one with another organisation? Am I imagining that?
Derry's with WBA.
Isn't he? So.
You could potentially have if Derry gets another robbery decision like he did against Louise, you could potentially have a unification fight of Derry versus Flanagan. That would be amazing. And it would sell 500 tickets, and down the road it would be Crawler and an Eliminator, and that would sell 10,000.
See the Louise fight, was that Derry's last fight?
Yeah.
That wasn't much of a robbery, it was a fucking hard fought fight.
Thought Louise pretty clearly won, to be honest, mate.
I bet you fucking hate everybody, though. You're a hater. You're a hater, bro.
I'm really negative. Yeah.
I try to fucking support the UK fighters, every single one of them.
Your countrymen, mate. One nation together under God. Cal, go on, mate. You were trying to jump in.
No, I was just going to say, what did you all think of Ireland's victory over Germany on Thursday night?
Well, I'm actually Irish, so I was delighted.
I'm Portuguese. I couldn't give a fuck.
I think Sam Carter happy.
Sam's Irish as well. We're both Irish, mate.
Best win since Italy in '94. So should we have a little minute's applause for the Irish?
Deco Taylor. I know your dad, Dick. I know your dad.
Deco Taylor. Deco Taylor, we fucking won. We won, Deco Taylor. Chin long.
Right. Okay.
Again, is this
struggling here. Can you help me out? Alex, mate, I'm going to give you some opponents for Flanagan. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Linares, unification fight.
Yeah, thumbs up.
That's feasible, isn't it? I reckon that could happen in the UK if Frank paid up enough.
Well. Yep.
Yeah, I reckon that could happen.
Yeah.
He's already come over.
He's got better chance against him than he would against Lat.
Miguel
Like having
Vasquez,
a-
who's with Heyman but has been robbed twice in the last year and clearly is pretty down on his luck and wouldn't mind a title shot.
No.
That would be an absolute stinker to watch.
It would be a fucking nightmare. I think Vasquez is a nightmare for empty. So the last person
They'd
you would
rob
want
it.
to,
They'd rob it.
the only reason you would want to take a fight, the only reason you want to take a fight with Vasquez is if he had a belt and now he's not got a belt. Why would you want to? In the fact he's with Heyman, so
It's a name. It's a name on the record. Isn't it?
I doubt.
I know he's Heyman. I know he's Heyman, but he's not a Heyman priority, is he? Like, Mickey the Spirit Bay. How about that?
The home of the champions.
Mickey undefeated in Spirit Bay versus Turbo.
He didn't lose
No.
his belt.
He ain't coming over here, is he?
Didn't win it either, did he?
No, did he fuck?
No, but Flanagan could travel, Alex. It's not out of the question. Don't see why you could see Flanagan fight in America maybe if there was a big money offer. What about someone like Shafikov, Barthélemy, Argenis Mendez? I reckon he maybe not Barthélemy. I think he could beat the other two.
Well, Shafikov's getting beat at the end of the year anyway.
Shafikov's a great little fighter. I'd like to see that. That would be a good fight.
I don't think the 135 division's that bad. See when you actually look at the names, it's not stacked like 140, 147 used to be like, but it's a decent division with some decent fighters here. And
yeah, there aren't any great fighters. That's the problem.
No, there isn't. But like, sometimes like not having great fighters, we end up getting good fights.
Yeah, I agree. There's lots of well-matched. Those names you could put any combination of those names together, and it would be a pretty well-matched fight.
There's no prima donnas, is there? They're going to be asking for, I want £3 million to fight Ricky Burns in Scotland. I mean, the people are going to be willing to fight for a reasonable amount, so the fights they can all be made pretty much.
And then we just need Broner to jump back down and then get involved. That would be great.
The thing is, Broner could actually probably make that weight. See, it's just the fact that like Verdejo's in that division and he is going to hunt for a belt next year at some point. It just oh man, seriously, see when you just put the tip in a box.
Flanagan's belt. That's a really good fight as well.
He's
not ready for that fight yet. He needs a few more, not tune-ups, but he needs a few more like building fights, I think.
Do you think when Terence Crawford moves up, Matchroom will suddenly move Luke Campbell away from 135 with the Verdejo problem and just get to 140?
Possibly, but
there's a lot more money there. And
I think Crawford might stick at 140 for a while, though. That's the only thing, because he's only been there like 9 months, hasn't he?
Crawford's massive, though. He could do 147 now.
But the fight for Crawford's maybe Pacquiao, and he's going to come down to 140.
Right. No, but like they'll feed Matisse to Crawford when they want to cash him out. They'll feed. I don't know. Maybe you could do.
Nobody's going to got to 140 because of John Wayne Hibbert. He's up there.
John Wayne Bobbitt, number 10 in the WBC.
I'm not fucking fighting that Dave Ryan again. He fucking give me nightmares. Right then. Cheers, pal.
I'm being serious for like 1 second here. This is the only time I'm going to be serious here. But see when you look at fucking roughly all the names at lightweight, it's a right decent division. Right? Just look at the top 10, but they've got right Figueroa still in there, right? But he's no there, right? You've got Linares, you've got Gamboa. Where the fuck is he? But if Gamboa's
the one. Gamboa's the wild card in there. Right, get Gamboa over to the UK. That's brilliant fight.
You've got Flanagan, you've got Beltran once he comes back off the juice, but Ricky Burns took his soul. Shafikov, Mickey Bay, the home of champions, Miguel Vasquez, fucking prick. Crawler, you've got Kev Mitchell who loves a quit, but we still like Kev. Hank Lundy's alright. Darley Perez isn't the worst. Petrov, right? Carlos Moses, right? And then you've got the likes of...
Petrov, I think, is number 3 with the WBO. Yeah, you might see Flanagan against him.
Then you've got the likes of Zlatkanin, but Barroso, who's going to be fighting Derry Matthews, maybe, right? I mean, Rances Barthélemy, this is like Verdejo. You've got some right good names in there. There's some right decent. It's a decent division.
No, it's good because they're all about the same level.
Aye.
But there's no elite fighters out of all the names you just mentioned. I don't think. So it comes down to what you want. Do you want to see the best, or do you want to see the best competitive fights? So
Comey's a good fighter. Richard Comey.
Yeah, Comey. Yeah, he's alright.
And Josh King.
Right. Well, we'll move on from lightweight because, yeah, I agree with you, Brian. Though that it is, I think it's underrated, but at the same time, there aren't any standout, elite champions in that division. I don't think. But we'll move on, and I'll let Alex take the lead on this because we have Liam Smith on the undercard, winning the full World Boxing Organization light middleweight title. It's a full, real world champion coming out of the Rotunda, coming out of Amir Khan's gym. Sorry, Joe Gallagher doesn't own it. So I thought before we get into it, analysing Liam Smith's devastating knockout win, we could everyone has to say something nice about Joe Gallagher. Just one thing. Okay, Alex, do you want to lead?
Well, what can we say about it? I mean, it was clearly a massive win for him. I think that.
No. You have to say one nice thing about Gallagher before you start.
Oh, one nice thing about Gallagher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only one thing, but we all have to say one.
There's so many things, really. I'm just trying to think of the one really nice thing I could say about Joe Gallagher.
The quality writer. His column in the Manchester, great read.
I think
that's my one. I've done it.
Oh, you've stolen my favourite one. I love his writing ability in the Manchester Evening News. I get it every week, sent to me up in Scotland. Great
read. That's my one. I've done it. You're really struggling, aren't you, to think of a single one?
He's got
one.
He rents a nice gym.
He rents a nice gym. There you go, Brian. Nice. All right. Alex, we'll come back to you if you want.
I got one. He keeps a family of fucking idiots from stealing from people's houses.
All right. Cal, one nice thing to say about Gallagher?
About his actual training, they're always fit, aren't they? They're always ready for the full 12 rounds. So I'll give him that one. He's good condition.
Yeah, they rarely miss weight unless they're Paul Smith, and they deliberately miss weight and to try and cheat the fight.
They're pretty. They're generally.
So once again, condition. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. They usually in shape. And Sam, what's yours, mate?
Well, Cal just stole the one I was going to say, but I like
Bastard.
About the fighters being fit. That's what you wanted to say.
Yeah. Very pretty. Scott Quigg, good-looking fella. I like the way that he keeps putting deadlines on the Frampton and Quigg fight. I think that's good. Beat up Frampton's camp because Barry McGuigan's stuck in it, or Frampton's stuck in it. They don't want a piece of Scott Quigg, and Gallagher's just trying to entice them out, put a deadline on it. They need Scott Quigg for the payday.
I do like the deadline because it's in this situation. It's just so pointless. Like, what is it going to do? How is it possibly going to help? It just makes them look like they're avoiding it even more. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So Gallagher's given us some entertainment with the. I'll add one more thing. I thought in the post interview with Liam Smith, he was he did kind of laugh at himself and showed a bit of a sense of humour. But that was, he wasn't totally serious about it. Sometimes he's very serious and can be a bit dry. But anyway, Alex, what did you think of the fight, mate? Liam Smith, elite world level? He's lost for words. Brian, Liam Smith, elite world level.
I say fuck. Absolutely fucking not. This fight was an absolute sham. But I can't even blame Eddie Hearn for this because it wasn't even on his fucking card, was it? But
I wishes he could have got an opportunity like this. Honestly. I sent a tweet to Austin Trout yesterday saying, do you have any idea why you were overlooked? And having done a bit of research, Austin Trout, during the fortnight when this fight, the Liam Smith fight, was made with John Thompson, Austin Trout just disappeared from the rankings for about 2 weeks, and then he reappeared again once the fight was made. And a couple of journalists investigated and were like, okay, what happened to Trout? Like, why did he disappear? And all they could offer as an explanation was it was an oversight on the organisation's part. That's it. That's all they said. Literally, someone forgot to enter his name on a fucking spreadsheet. It's ridiculous.
But what I don't understand is that, so I think it was like Trout's team inquired about getting that made as not a no contest, not for the world title, and the British Board of Boxing Control denied him that. Was it? I don't understand how has the British Board
denied it. apparently the BBFC denied it because they do not deal with the sanctioning body. Like, they wouldn't rule on a sanctioning body dispute. Do you know what I mean? They said it's not our place to dispute.
Should it not be the WBO's decision then to turn around and say, aye, right, fair enough, we fucked up here, that's not for a world title?
Well, I think the WBO probably palmed it off to the BBFC, and then the BBFC said no and sent it back.
I just don't...
Apparently, one of the things was that Trout's management and his team they didn't pursue it aggressively. They sent a couple of emails saying, what's going on? Is there a mistake? Rather than like calling them up and saying, what the fuck's, where's my fighter gone? This is outrageous, and like making a lot of noise about it. So the WBO kind of got away with it. But I guess that's the job of a promoter, isn't it? To make sure stuff like that doesn't happen to your fighter.
He's for Heyman, though. You'd have thought he would have done more to get this.
He is with Heyman, and he's been with Heyman for a long time, Austin Trout, and he always talks about having a good, very close relationship with Heyman. So I was thinking it might be that because Heyman wants to move away from the belts altogether, so he might have encouraged him to not to complain about it too much, you know.
But that doesn't really make sense, so considering he's just got Charlo, one of the belts.
Yeah, but Heyman's approach to the belts doesn't really make sense generally, does it? Because I'm always being told that he wants the belts out of boxing, but every so often his guys seem to pick up belts and fight for titles. You know, it's strange. Like one day he seems not to care about them, the next day he cares about them again. I don't get it. Sam, what are your thoughts, mate, on Liam Smith as an elite fighter?
Well, Thompson was dominating him on rounds, and then he just gassed completely. His punches didn't have no snap in them to start with, really, but past the fourth round, his punches was bouncing off him, and it was abysmal. And then the first...
would it shock you, Sam, to learn that John Thompson had never had a 12-rounder before that fight?
Yeah, it would, yeah.
Well, because he hadn't, and it sort of showed up in his stamina levels, didn't it, I thought?
past the fifth round, even the fourth, he was fucked.
He's a guy who's been fighting 8-rounders for his entire career, basically, and now he's been thrown into a world title shot. It's ridiculous.
A thing that hasn't been mentioned anywhere, or I haven't seen it anyway, was Barry Jones sort of cheerleading a bit. I mean, I like Barry Jones. He's better than the Chuckle Brothers on Sky. But he was, I don't know, he was cheerleading for Liam Smith a bit. I thought that some of the what he was calling that, I just didn't agree with it.
Well, I think he had it something like, he had it like 3-2 after 5. He went, I've got a 3-2 for Thompson, but you could easily have it 3-2 for Smith. And I was thinking, could you? Could you really have Smith ahead at this point? I don't think so. He's quite clearly... Sorry, say again, mate.
I had it 4-1 after 5, and the fourth round that I give to Smith, that was quite generous as well.
Yeah, I think you could have easily had Smith being shut out at that stage, but then, you know, credit to him, he turned it round. But I remember you saying at the time, Brian, you said even when when Thompson was winning rounds early, you got the sense that he was one punch away from being in trouble, and like he just didn't look sturdy at all, did he?
No, I tweeted that. I don't know whether it's maybe just because he's a tall, lanky guy, that it just looks as if he couldn't take a punch. And you know how sometimes you just look at a person and you're like, maybe it's just because he's built. He's quite deceiving. It just looks as if he couldn't take a punch. And you've seen it any time Smith connected with him. It's as if he just didn't know how to handle a punch. He looked totally shocked. He could hit him with a fucking jab, man. It looked as if he just punched him in the dick. He just, at any time he get tapped on, he just couldn't handle it. And you've seen it when Smith hit him with a hook. He was fucking shaking him big time, and the expression on his face just looked as if he'd been fingered. So I said after 5 rounds, I think it was, I was at Thompson's absolutely schooling Smith here. He's at, but I see Smith knocking him out, and lo and behold, that's what happened. Like, I'm no interested in seeing fighters like take punches and smile and walk forward, because normally that's just a guy that's got absolutely no technique whatsoever, that doesn't know, like a Provodnikov.
Or Burns.
Fuck off. Just somebody constantly walking forward, taking punches and smiling as if like you're not hurting me. Well, it doesn't matter. It's not the hurt business. It's to win rounds, and he was getting absolutely schooled. And I'm not going to give any credit here like Joe Gallagher. This was the game plan. He said this with Scott Quigg and Salinas. The game plan was to give the first half of the fight away, then come on strong at the end. That's not a fucking game plan, you daft bastard. That's just to lose half the fucking fight. But
And that's hope. That's just banking on the other guy getting very tired very quickly, isn't it? But, a strange one.
But maybe that was the game plan, that they knew that he hadn't ever done a 12-round fight and he was going to gas at some point because he was having to constantly do some lateral movement. And Thompson's movement was quite good. I heard people saying that his jab was good. I didn't think so. He was like flicking it out all the time. There was absolutely no power on the jab, even though Smith's face was marked up. It didn't look as if there was any power coming for his punches. I know he would kind of swing awkward like left and right hooks. Like they were just kind of coming for everything. They reminded me, like Carlos Mauser that Hatton fought, where he was just fucking swinging punches. He was just swinging punches for any direction. That's what it was. And
Carlos Mauser, the man who once punched an opponent in the back of the head when they were lying face down on the floor. If you've never seen it, I think it's the Vivian Harris fight, and Mauser punches him when he's flat on the floor. It's absolutely brilliant. I've never seen a guy do that. Punch into the ground. It's absolutely brilliant. How he didn't get disqualified. But yeah, sorry, go on. It's very ungainly, isn't he?
It was, and it wasn't so much he was keeping Smith off him. It was just he was just being active enough to make sure that Smith was having to think about what he was doing when he was coming in. But then again, he wasn't really doing that either, was he? He was just kind of trying to walk through his punches. But I had him also down like 4-1 after 5. I gave Smith the 6. That's when I think he really hurt him. Then the 7th was just I turn it over because I'm not hearing all the fucking millions interviewed. But as far as the politics go, this is how I keep telling you as I'm done with boxing. The whole politics surrounding this belt is an absolute fucking joke. Andre getting stripped, fair enough. Right, we understand that he needed to be stripped, but at the same time, Smith should have lost his ranking position for turning the fight down. Like Frank, we all say.
I never understand that. Why fighters can keep a ranking while turning away fights? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I can understand that in some cases because I do think it might be unfair and I do think it can be abused because say a champion really doesn't want to fight a certain fighter, he'll go and offer him, I don't know, 10 quid and then obviously they're going to turn the fight down. Should he lose his ranking because of that?
Eddie Hearn would never do that. He definitely hasn't done that.
But that's why purse bids were invented.
Yeah. To avoid that.
For mandatories, yeah, but if it's just, any other case, then, I don't think Liam Smith wasn't a fucking mandatory. He got offered the fight. And he turned it down because of, he shat it, basically. Should, say the offer from Andre was like, literally, I'll give you a tenner and a fucking bus ride home, then he's obviously going to turn it down.
It's not like Liam Smith is, when you have like Pacquiao offering, let's say Mayweather offered Pacquiao 10% of the pay-per-view gross, you could say, okay, that offer's a bit insulting. Pacquiao doesn't need that. Like he could reject that offer and it would be fair. But Liam Smith, who's never fought really above Euro level, getting a shot at the title alone is enough, I think. Like
absolutely.
Andre could have offered him 1% of the money, but it's the fact that he's getting the chance to win the belt that's the important.
Exactly. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I disagree with the notion that they should be deranked because of it, because that's just completely open to abuse.
I'll give you a fine example. Kell Brook, how many times did he turn down fights for world titles, right? But we'll give you the perfect example. Senchenko, he turned that down because he didn't want to travel, because they say, quote unquote, the money was shite. But the money wasn't shite enough for Paulie Malignaggi to take that fight to go over there. Fine, well known that
Paulie was desperate though, mate. Paulie was very, very desperate.
It doesn't matter whether he was desperate or not. Senchenko was shit, and everybody knew he was shit. So Brook would have fucking killed him regardless. You should always be wanting to win the belt, because see, if you win the belt, the money's going to come. But Brook didn't do that, and Smith.
What you forget?
It's not so much Smith. Hold on, Sam. It's not so much Smith. I actually like Liam Smith, even though he's took a serious personal dislike to me because he knows I'm undefeated and he wants to take my oath.
You're a fat, greasy bastard.
Yeah, fat, greasy bastard. But you wanted a selfie with me, Smith. We know this. And it's just Joe. It's just basically Joe Gallagher. It's just him and Hearn just manipulate ranking systems all the time, and I know people call me.
They all do, though. They all do.
Yeah, we know that. but me fucking bringing everybody in here doesn't fit my agenda to slagging Joe Gallagher, right?
Yeah, but to be fair, I agree with you, Brian. I do think it's genuine. Like Liam Smith, he fought quite well. He showed certain skills on Saturday night, and like
eventually when he worked him out shape, he used the same punch over and over because he knew it was working. I quite like that. Stick with it's working. Don't try and change something.
He didn't panic, did he? He was down. He lost maybe the first 4 rounds, but he didn't panic.
This isn't an attack. This isn't an attack on Liam Smith. I don't want people to turn around and say, you've got. I like Liam Smith. I've always said he was my favourite brother. You know what I mean, brother? Not a Spencer Ferrum brother, but an actual brother at the Smiths.
Brother from another mother.
Aye, boom.
Liam Smith is your favourite black man. Okay.
It's just that it's a bit. It's like Quigg not wanting to fight Rigondeaux either. They just keep ducking all these fights that they don't want because they're specifically picking like Cal Frampton because that's a money fight, right? Fair enough, I understand that, but don't call yourself a champion. The same way, they didn't fight Andre. We don't know how much money it was. All we can go with is what Warren says. They didn't take the fight. Well, Brian Rose was fucking big enough to take the fight. He did, and he actually took a harder fight as a final eliminator to get that fight. So Brian Rose has got a better resume than Liam Smith, who is now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Brian Rose has a better resume than Liam Smith. I would agree with that. Yeah, and Liam Smith is a champion somehow. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I had a rant about this like yesterday, and I must have just looked like a bitter bastard. But if you look at even Vanessa Matarosian's resume, who he's fought, who he's been robbed against, and he's still not a champion. Erislan De Lara, he's still not a proper champion. He's like a Quigg champion. Charlo's just won a belt. Some of the guys in that division not champions is unfucking believable.
I'm gonna give you guys just give me a yes or no. I'm gonna give you some names from 154. Tell me if Liam Smith beats them. So Canelo, first of all. Let's say he can still make the limit.
No.
No. Lara.
No.
Andrade.
No.
No.
Jamal Charlo, the one who won the belt.
No.
Which one's he? Is he the puncher or?
No, he's a boxer. I'm pretty sure.
No, I think Jamal is the boxer.
Oh fuck knows, man. Whatever. The two of them are the same.
I think they both.
Either of them. So.
Austin Trout.
No.
James Kirkland.
No.
Maybe.
I don't think so. No, I definitely don't think
that
so.
That might be quite a good fight, you know.
That's
Martirosyan.
No, definitely not.
No.
Julian J. Rock Williams, have you seen him? I think he would smash Smith. I think Williams is really good. He's a rising prospect. Maciel?
No.
Yeah. Nah, I think he'd beat Maciel. He'd beat Angulo as well. He'd beat
Angulo is beat.
He'd beat Rabchenko.
Bundridge. He'd beat Bundridge, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't beat Mundine, mate. No one beats Mundine.
Mundine's the man.
He'd school him and then knock him out. He'd make Smith quit. That's what would happen.
He wouldn't beat Willie Nelson.
But I think the question we've all got to ask is, has Floyd still got his 154 belt?
So
Yes.
Liam Smith against Floyd.
No, Liam Smith against Floyd at Anfield.
Imagine that.
Like I'm thinking of. Smith, Floyd, Anfield.
I've got a good one. Do you reckon he beat the guy that lost to Andy Lee, the Jackson?
John.
The one who...
That's a good fight. Again, that's a good fight.
That's a close one, isn't
Didn't
it?
one of the Jacksons get sparked out the last week?
Julia's
Well, 2 rounds.
That's a great little fight, by the way. If you've it's only 2 rounds. It's a fun one. It's on. I think it's up on YouTube on PBC. But
Japanese fellow, isn't it?
no, Venezuelan, mate. The other side of the world.
Same fucking thing.
Oh, you're so racist.
Right. That's a yellow card for Cal. We don't tolerate. God. All right. Ryan,
I'm sticking up for my fucking Venezuelan people. We are the... No, I'm not going to say that because that's a scummy thing, but anyway. Hear more.
Keep your socialism to yourself.
Yes. I don't know. Jackson was maybe beating as well. Jackson was doing well, and he was fucking schooling Andy Lee, and it was only because Andy Lee can punch like a fucking mule.
Equaliser. Bang.
Oh, lovely.
Nice shot. I love watching that knockout.
That knockout
I love
gave me
that
the tickly
fight.
bit.
Do you remember? I think it was the HBO commentary, and they were like, you could hear them. They quite like Andy Lee at HBO, and he's been on there a lot of times, and you can hear Lampley, and he sounds genuinely disappointed. He's like, "Oh, is this sort of the beginning of the end of Andy Lee? Is he past it?" And then He lands that hook, lays
Uh,
him out, and Jim Lampley shouts, "This guy's got one weapon, and it is dynamite." It's fucking amazing. It's like the best call I've heard in years. And Andy, and like it's great because as soon as Lee lands it, he doesn't even look at Jackson, does he? He knows.
I'm done.
He knows he's done him. Like on that, you can just. He must have felt it go through his body, and he just knew he was out. No way he was getting up. Yeah. Okay. So Liam Smith's not really. Is he really a world champion? I don't know.
We're not.
Would any of you put him top 10 in 154?
No.
No, I don't think he's top 10. No.
So, like,
But he does
I know
have a
there's
real
four
belt.
champions.
He's a real belt. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I don't count that.
This is tricky.
I still want to emphasise here that this is not a fucking dig at Liam Smith. This is not a dig. But fuck you, Paul Smith. But
The dig at Paul Smith for being a cunt, but Liam's alright.
You know what? See if they just turn around and say, "Look, Andre's fighting for like one of the dodgy WBO belts at the weekend as well. This weekend, I'm pretty sure."
Intercontinental.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's going to be right back up in the ranking. See if they turn, and I'm pretty sure. Does Liam
won't win a round against Andre? He won't win a single round.
But does that not mean because he won a vacant belt that he has to fight the mandatory next? His next fight needs to be the mandatory.
Possibly. Well, I don't know what they're like at enforcing mandatories. The WBO, are they strict on it? I don't know.
Well, Vlad's always having to fight his WBO. I know Pacquiao wasn't, but
I don't know. But Andre's got reasonably big backing, so you'd think he might be able to put in a very nice offer for that fight, and Warren might tip Liam Smith
it's
off.
not really. He's not really got a big back in his
It's got Rock
sleeve.
Nation. It's got Rock Nation, hasn't he?
No,
That's Rock Nation.
no. That's why he's fucking. He's in the shite that he's in. He's still be Star Boxing. Is that the name of him?
Sure, I'm sure he signed.
No, he didn't. Rock Nation told him, "Don't take the Charlo fight. We'll give you 500,000 not to fight," something like that, and he refused to fight. People fund the paperwork and I'm pretty sure Rock Nation's now getting sued for this. And Andre didn't even get the money off of Rock Nation, so he get fucking screwed off everybody.
And now,
that's his own fucking fault. He basically tried to do a Mikey Garcia, didn't he? And a Chavez. So we can't blame anybody other than him for that. But at the same time, if Smith was offered that fight, he should have took the fight.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that he's turned a fight with the champion down and still managed to win the belt. That is genuinely a shame for the sport. But
he will need to fight him at some point. That's a guarantee unless he vacates or loses to somebody
and
before then.
It's a reasonably strong division.
Again, it's like 135. There's no superstar, but there's some fucking right good boxers there. I like Lara. I'm a fan of Lara.
Yeah. Lara would smash him. Let's be honest. He might beat one out of the top 10, maybe two on a good day. Right, so Brian, I don't know if you want to go into Burns night or if you've said your piece on Ricky, because I know there's been some news about Burns recently.
There's some fucking crack news on Ricky Burns, hasn't there?
All right, well, if you want to do your Burns night segment, I'm just going to have to tee it up very briefly, okay? Just give me a second. It is coming, sorry. I'm doing a rock.
That's what she said. Lol.
Jesus Christ.
Before it died for him to fuck Ricky over.
The Flower of Scotland, also known as Ricky Burns, has got a fight announced. Brian, do you want to tell us some more about it?
Aye, the fight. He told us he's going to be involved in a big fight on Kell Brook's undercard, and we all knew he was full of shit. We all fucking knew that he was full of shite, right? Because it said the Hearn, and then it came out and told that it was going to be for the European title against some Finnish dude. What was the boy's name? Tatley.
Oh yeah, Tatley.
Right, and then Alex finds out information that was posted in his local newspaper that Tatley wasn't taking the fight. The money was pish, and he was never ever taking the fight in the first place. And Hearn didn't say nothing about this. So I asked people that know Ricky Burns. He says that the fight wasn't happening, and they're struggling to get Ricky Burns any sort of decent opponent within that time frame. And it took Hearn 5 weeks to finally admit that we already knew that the fight wasn't happening. And he also took him off fucking Brooks' undercard, right? And I've seen people that had booked tickets primarily just to go and see Ricky Burns. I mean, whether you like it or no, the guy is quite fan friendly, and he's liked, really liked up here. So people are travelling down to Sheffield. I mean, Sheffield, come on to fuck, it's a shit place at the best of times. Even if they're going to go down there.
Fuck off, cunt.
Oh, you. All right, chop. All right.
Limerick Irish. Limerick Sheffield, that's it.
All right, Dick. So they're travelling down there for absolutely fucking nothing now. I mean, Hearn doesn't get any shit for this. Like, see, if Warren done this, they would fucking try to bomb some cunt's house, they cult bastards, right? He's took them off. He's done it for like Gavin and Eggington and all. Fucking took some cunt off there because some daft bastard runs over themselves, and they're going to put it on a London card now. So he's now put him on the Liverpool card, which is closer for people for up here. But in Liverpool's a lot better than Sheffield because it just is, because Sheffield's a shithole. But it's meant to feel like fighting Figueroa at welterweight when he's a lightweight, to fight Tatley for the European title, and I'm all for fighting for the fucking normal belts to get a world title, because the European belt gives you a ranking with the WBO and IBF, I'm sure. Right, so he would have been in line for a fucking shot by the end of the year, the start of next year. But now Hearn, oh, you're fucking great promoter, the saviour of boxing, oh, we fucking love him. You fucking ball bag wanker cult cunts. He's now fucking fighting Josh King for Australia. We all know the Australians are like the French. They're quitting bastards and they can't fight worth a fuck. And what has this guy got? A record of fucking 20 wins, 9 knockouts, 3 losses and 1 KO, right? And he's a big lump of fucking shite. He's the reigning WBO Asia Pacific lightweight champion. I mean, come on, fuck. Seriously.
Is that belt going to be on the line? Can Burns claim any Asian answer?
It is on the line. It's not that one. It's some WBO.
No, it's now defeating WBO. I don't know if it's an intercontinental lightweight title because somebody won that at the weekend.
Well, that's on the line.
But somebody won that at the weekend on Frank Warren's card.
So why are you slagging French fighters off though? Garrido came over, last Bronx to come over.
Big respect to the fucking Lion King. Boom.
Yeah, we love Garrido. Garrido's a hero around here. But I agree with you on the whole. The French, there just aren't that many good French fighters, even throughout history. They seem to underperform as a country.
See, like another thing with this shit. They're now going for like some sort of fucking shady WBO belt. Who's the WBO champion? Flanagan. Who's he promoted with? Frank Warren. Who will Hearn not work with? Frank Warren. Who will Warren not work with? Eddie Hearn. And who does it fucking Ricky Burns hate? Frank Warren.
What? Frank Warren never bankrupted him. That was Hearn.
It wasn't Frank's fault.
Yeah.
I really do. I seriously see when I wake up in the morning, right, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to work. Like fucking magic, and I go into like Twitter because I block shit through WhatsApp, and I go into Twitter and like I find out that yous have died. I'll be fucking over the moon, right? I'll really be over the moon. But right, so why are they chasing after the WBO belt when they fine well know they're not going to fucking fight like Flanagan? And see if, like, just for saying sake, they do go fight Flanagan, it's going to go to purse bids. And we all know Hearn's a cheap bastard. He's definitely not going to try to win this purse bid, because why would he give 70% of the purse to a Frank Warren fighter? This is an absolute fucking shit fest.
And I don't think
Eddie Hearn, you fucking floppy cock.
I don't think that's a good fight for Burns either. I think Flanagan would be a very tricky matchup for him. But Brian, are you done on Burns night?
I just say that I don't give a fuck. I'll go to the fight. I'll support my man through thick and thin. Fuck you, Eddie Hearn. Fuck you, Matchroom. Fuck the Queen. Fuck the cult. Fuck Thatcher. And I'd like to fuck Cal's sister.
Right. I would say we'd edit that out, but we can't. So
Fuck's sake.
moving on.
You fat jock cunt.
Right, come on. Moving on, we've got quite a big fight in the States on Saturday night at Madison Square Garden. Golovkin versus David Lemieux in a middleweight unification fight. Not for the lineal title, obviously, which will be contested, November 21st or whatever, when Canelo fights Cotto. But for what belts has Golovkin got? WBO. Lemieux's got the IBF, hasn't he?
He's got the WBA, the IBO, and the WBC silver belt or some shit.
WBC silver, yeah. So it's everything apart from the WBC full title, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah.
But so, what do we think about Golovkin-Lemieux? I want basically, I want the case to be made whether it should be pay-per-view or not, because I would feel, if I was American, I would feel a bit ripped off by this. I don't think, if I'm paying for HBO month on month, I don't think it's worth pay-per-view. Cal, I know you disagree, so do you want to kick us off, mate?
Well, yeah, I just first need to know how much they're charging. 'Cause if it's $100, I'm not going to try and defend that.
I think it's 60. I might be wrong. I'll look it up.
Like 35 quid, something like that.
Yeah, ish.
Right, well, at the end of the day, other than Frochgroves 2, I'd say this is the best card, better than any of the other British pay-per-views that we've had in the last 4 or 5 years. It's better than Froch Kessler, better than Frochgroves 1.
What do you mean in terms of the main event?
In terms of the main event and then the rest of it. You've got 3 of the belts.
The undercard's shit.
You've got 3 belts.
Good
You've got the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world fighting on the undercard.
Yeah, but in a...
Floyd?
In a show...
Floyd doesn't go on into his undercard?
You've got 2 absolute animals in terms of knockouts. It's going to be just one of them frantic fights. It's not going to last more than 4 or 5 rounds, but that's what you expect. And it's just, I've been looking forward to this one for fucking ages. Can't wait for it. I'd buy it if I were in America.
We're very. I said earlier, Cal, I was arguing about this earlier, and I said if I lived anywhere near New York, I would buy a ticket for it, 100%. I'd go and watch it live, but I wouldn't pay pay-per-view because I don't think it's worth pay-per-view. But if you want to go to a fight and be in the arena and watch a knockout, obviously this is a show.
All right, then, but
you'd be happy paying $60.
No. This is it. If I was an American and I've been paying for Floyd versus whoever and Pacquiao versus whoever for the last 5-10 years or however long they've been pay-per-view, then I'd be absolutely buzzing that they're finally getting a fight where these 2 guys that are just going to go in and fucking try and war each other.
Sorry, it's $49.95 pay-per-view dollars. So what's that? About 30 quid.
Yeah, 30 quid. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's best card of the year so far.
Really?
Yeah. It's been a shit year.
Yeah, I suppose, but...
What do you think's better?
Rule Britannia. That was a better card in terms of...
Yeah, fucking...
No, Royal Britannia turned out good because all the fights were good, but it didn't have any...
Right, okay, I guess this is what... Yeah, it's what you look for, isn't it? Because I look at that card and I see Chocolatito is in a mismatch that he will win by knockout. He's a very good fighter, but it's not a competitive fight.
So was Kell Brook.
I don't think Golovkin-Lemieux is a competitive fight. I don't think the Luis Ortiz fight is a competitive fight. I don't think Turiano Johnson versus Eamon O'Kane is competitive either. So I just see that I see 3 mismatches and then 1 very lopsided win for Turiano.
Right.
That's when I look at it. Alex, what do you think, mate? Is it worth pay-per-view?
Not really. I mean, if you're going, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we're always going for. Sorry, we're always trying to push this idea that pay-per-view is, to be justified, it's got to have a lot of competitive fights on it, hasn't it? It's got to have either a fight that you need to pay the fighters, etc. Fighters have got to eat, families got to eat, etc., and all that bollocks. But
we've got to. That's why we're charging for the pod from next week, right?
Absolutely. It's the thing is. It's a piece of entertainment as well, though. This is the thing that I think sets this one a little bit apart, is that you're going to be entertained by these fights. I don't think any of these fights are going to disappoint. And maybe the Luis Ortiz one might, because he's fighting such a awful opponent, it might end up being a bit of a stinker and just like a fall over job and a bit stupid. But I think all of the fights that you're watching are going to be entertaining, and maybe that doesn't necessarily justify a $50, $60, whatever it is, price tag, but I do think that the entertainment value is certainly going to be up there. I mean, you're watching, for a start, as Carl said, the number one fighter in the world is going to be on there. You've got Golovkin, who is an absolutely a rising star, despite what anyone thinks about his resume, which is trash at the moment. But he is unifying a belt. Many people expect him to go on to fight Cotto or Canelo, the winner of that. Canelo, because Cotto will quit. And yeah, I don't mind the Eamon O'Kane Tyranno Johnson fight. I think that's a bit more closer than I think you're giving
Really?
discrediting it for.
O'Kane's
Closer than the other two main events, but I mean, yeah.
But okay. Do you think? Anyone chime in who wants to express an opinion on this? Who thinks, yes or no, is Viloria competitive with Gonzalez?
No, but who the fuck is?
No. Okay,
Exactly.
so that's a no.
Yeah,
Viloria was a good little fighter 3 or 4 years ago, and he's well past it now. Okay, that's all right because it's not the main event. Is Lemieux competitive with Golovkin? And I don't mean in terms of if he lands a miracle punch.
You're asking the wrong question.
Okay, go on.
The question you should be asking is, out of the people that are in these people's divisions, who are the fighters that they can get that are better than who they're fighting?
No, that's totally different.
No, it's not, because you're discrediting the likes of Lemieux, but that is the best guy that GGG can actually get right now. Valoria's probably
right. I agree with you, but that doesn't mean it should be pay-per-view.
Well, no, I'm not. Well, I don't think any fight should be pay-per-view. So.
Because you're tight with a pain.
Yeah, but would you rather Golovkin just carry on fighting these guys that are just there for one last payday? They know they're not going to win when they get in the ring, or would you rather him actually fight someone that thinks they might win?
I don't think Lemieux thinks he'll win.
Well, yeah,
No,
but
it does. I think you're right.
I'd rather pay 30 quid for this than watch Golovkin against another Munro and another Gill to finish the year off.
The reason this is pay-per-view though is because nobody's prepared to fight Golovkin, and Golovkin's already, for the opponents that he's had, he's one of the highest paid guys. He pays his opponents well. Some of his opponents have actually been paid more than Peter Quillen's ever been paid. I mean, and Quillen turned down fucking £1.5 million, and now he's won.
That was the issue when Quillen came out and said, "I'd take the Golovkin." I can remember people going through the purses of Gill, Macklin, Rubio, all of those guys.
Gill got about 700,000.
The average purse was something like 650,000 for Golovkin's last 6 opponents, and Quillen's average purse was about $500,000. So he was just talking complete bullshit as usual to duck Triple G. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
We all know HBO are no longer backing the promoters with a lot of money. You'll see that with Kovalev at some point. They're going to have to start sticking the fights on pay-per-view or some shit like that. And the only way that Golden Boy were maybe going to be convinced to take this fight and Lemieux to take this fight is if they paid them over the odds. Now, I don't agree with that. Because you're paying over the odds to get an opponent, that means that the money has to come for the fan. No, it's not. People fucking pay enough as it is for HBO, Sky. That you should be absorbing that to give them something back, considering they're paying this all year round. HBO must have a surplus of some amount of fucking money. It doesn't come from boxing, but you should be fucking giving the fans something back. You shouldn't be charging for any of this, but. The way they're seeing it is...
Brian, sorry, just on that point before you keep going, the way I see it is that they're saying we need to pay over the odds as an investment to build Golovkin.
Yeah, but I don't believe that the fans should have to pay for it.
Yeah, they're saying that the fans need to pay over the odds as an investment for Golovkin. But we're not the ones who are going to be getting the profits if Golovkin becomes a star. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
what they're doing...
Why aren't HBO paying? Yeah, I agree. That's my problem.
What they're doing is they're setting him up for Cotto Canelo. They're setting it up so that he's got precedent for a pay-per-view, so that he's got better negotiating powers in that fight.
I think it's a huge pay-per-view either way, really.
But he's got a better chance of negotiations if he's essentially saying that, well, I did, whatever, maybe this will do, I don't know, what are we estimating this?
Tom Laughlin said if it does 200k, they'll be happy.
Yeah. And I made a bet about 6 months ago with a guy who said that Golovkin first pay-per-view, we didn't know it was Lemieux at the time, but he said, I reckon Golovkin's first pay-per-view will do over 450,000, and I took the bet quite happily. There is absolutely no chance. Yeah, I think 200, I think it'll do about 150,
Be lucky
150,000, something like that.
It'll be lucky to do 200, I think.
But
200 would be good. If I'm looking, I'm happy
with see on that argument, though, the thing that might do well is the fact that it's $25 cheaper than all the rest of the pay-per-views. People might just let's see if you're paying 75 for
it comes in a year when you've paid 100 for Floyd Manny, you've paid 60 or whatever it was for Mayweather. You've got Golovkin, you've got Canelo Cotto a month later. You know,
I talked about
pay-per-view. That's the problem.
I talked about the pay-per-view and the fact that the Mayweather-Berto one, the fact that it did so poorly was part of a backlash against Mayweather-Pacquiao, because so many people bought that, you know, so many people who never watched boxing bought that thinking that they were going to get an absolute barnstormer, or Stormbarmer, as
Stormbarmer,
Starbarner.
But, you know, and so they were really pissed off, and they knew that Floyd wasn't going to provide that against Berto, and Berto was just a mess, and they were finished with that. And now I'm wondering if there was a general disdain for pay-per-views overall, or whether the fact that Golovkin is, you know, essentially the antithesis of what Floyd brings. You know, Floyd is the very cautious fighter. I'm not saying that, you know, Golovkin's reckless, but, you know, he's a knockout artist, whereas Floyd never gets a knockout, as the adage goes. So I think that maybe it won't suffer too bad because of those pay-per-views earlier in the year.
See on that, Alex.
But equally, sorry, Brian, just before you go on, but equally, Alex, I think if let's say I've got $100 for pay-per-view for the rest of the year, and I'm saving up for one show, I buy Cotto Canelo over this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the undercard on that is fantastic. It's brilliant.
Oh, there's no competition. There's no competition.
This I don't rate it. Sorry, go on. Who was trying to jump on there? Sorry, Cal.
Do you actually think that, obviously Cotto Canelo is a closer fight? I'd definitely agree with that. But I think Lemieux would beat Cotto, so I think there's more talent in this fight coming up this weekend.
He drank Cotto like 151 for a start.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about 160 £160. I don't think.
I think Cotto would out. Joaquim Alcine beat Lemieux, for fuck's sake.
Oh man, get over it, fuck's sake.
Fucking young then, Shep.
Didn't Lee Selby lose to some fucking
5 years ago?
Onyain or some fucking.
Right.
And the only way Cotto would beat him is.
I think Cotto would beat him, honestly. I think
Pacquiao lost to a fucking rake back in Thailand. Are we still going to cast that shit up? The guy was
he couldn't get an IB exemption on the day of the fight, mate. That's why.
Well, he still fucking lost.
He wouldn't give it.
He still lost. He can't keep holding a fucking defeat over a guy. He's actually built his career up. If you, as I said earlier on Twitter, if you can't see that this guy has actually fucking got better over the last couple of years since that defeat, then I don't know, you must be watching the wrong sport. I'm not saying he beats Golovkin, I don't say it's competitive, but he's not the same fighter. He was a young guy. His stamina is far better as well.
Here's one for you.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Lemieux,
got better. Go on, Alex,
Lemieux's victory over Undam, is that as good a win as anything on Golovkin's resume?
He's on par with Martin.
Yeah, possibly. I think the Macklin win was really good, though. I think that's very underrated. How he does it, just based on name value alone. I mean, Undam, he lost to Quillin, but I mean, he was still considered a decent middleweight guy. He was top 5 at some point, top 10. He'd been a champion.
That's not a lot.
We baby Bonnie.
Fuck's sake.
Right, I'm going to go. Okay. Again, I'll give you some names. Tell me if you think Lemieux beats them. Cotto. So, can I just get a count on Cotto? Who wins? Cotto or Lemieux?
I think that'd be a good
what
fight.
weight are they at? Are they fighting at full middleweight? Or
they're fighting it. Let's say 160. Yeah.
It won't be 160 though, would it?
Train wrecks him then, just steams over him.
It won't be 160.
I know this is a fucking. We've got a couple of Cotto haters on here, but Cotto's nowhere near as bad as you're trying to make out he is.
Would he? Cotto would not make that fight.
Here and he's saying he wins.
I think it'd be a right good competitive fight.
I'd say that's the
You
best
not-
fight. Of the four guys, that's the closest fight there is.
Okay, so we're agreeing that's a close fight. What about Lemieux versus Andy Lee?
Lemieux.
I think Andy Lee'd knock him out.
I think that's an early gunsling, isn't it? It's just.
I tell you what, Andy Lee can't take a punch either.
It's
Yeah,
a
but
poor
he's
man.
got the
It's
range.
going to be a poor man's Golovkin-Lemieux, basically.
Andy Lee's arms are twice the length of David Lemieux's arms. Honestly, David Lemieux has like T-Rex little.
But he doesn't use his length like that. He's not like one of these guys that fucking fights with a jab. He ends up getting involved in a brawl.
I don't think Lemieux's quick enough to draw him. His hands aren't as quick as Quillen's, for example. I think Andy Lee could stay away from him. Quillen versus Lemieux, who wins that?
Lemieux.
I disagree. I think Quillen beats him. Okay. I guess I just don't rate Lemieux at all, do I?
Stop hating on fucking Golovkin's opponent, you piece of shit.
It's unbelievable the fucking mad hate he gets. I
don't hate him at all.
You were saying the other day, you hate all hype. You hate.
Yeah,
Golovkin.
you do.
I don't hate Golovkin. I hate the hype. It's different. I hate Paul Smith as a person.
So to stop the hype, you just shit on everyone that he's ever fought and everything about.
I hate the people who are hyping him up and putting him in like top 5 pound for pound when he hasn't beaten anyone. I hate that, but I don't hate him.
I agree with that, but in turn, you shouldn't turn around and say that it turned a massive backlash against decent opponents, I suppose. Yeah. This guy is the best option out there.
Right, this is what I mean.
I agree with that. At the moment, it is the best. It is the best to be made.
I don't believe any fight should be pay-per-view because we pay enough. I don't get like Floyd Pacquiao, right? Maybe because they're on fucking ridiculous money, but the pay-per-views we have to fight. But hold on, Chip. Right, what you're getting here is you're getting all your fan favourites, Gonzalez. I mean, I'm not great with the lower weights, but is there many people round about that weight that he's either not fought or
Stacked right down there.
Right, but who's the best guy that he could have fought right now? I mean, we know that that Estrada has just had a fight, but he's fought like a few other people. Who genuinely could he have fought that was better than Valoria right now?
I'd have to get the list up. Give me a minute. I wish they'd put the money up and just got the Estrada fight made, to be honest. I mean, if you can't do it on a pay-per-view undercard, when are you going to be able to do it? I don't understand that at all.
They're more interested in building him up still, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's a
They're
shame.
not trying to show. They're trying to showcase him. They're not trying to make the big fights just yet. That's going to be next year.
Segura? I'm looking at it now.
He's already... No, Segura's done, man.
I know the Ruendo
McWilliams Arroyo.
Justin, but...
Look, yeah, Alex, I think you're right. Look,
Arroyo was in the running.
I've got no problem with the Chocolatito fight, but as long as people accept that it's a showcase, it's not going to be.
But this is the point here. You're getting to see Golovkin, one of the best fighters in the world, against the best possible opponent that he could have got. Right? You're also getting Gonzalez doing the exact same. It's not their fault that they're that good, that any cunt in their division they're going to bat the fuck out. Does that mean that we should just stop watching them? They're fighting the best possible guys that they can possibly get right now, and just because they're so good doesn't mean that we should shit on these fights. I mean, is this going to be like I say, these guys just need to keep going up in weights until they find somebody that's going to beat them? That's not the way fucking boxing works.
Eddie Hearn said he tried to make the Eubank Jr. Golovkin.
Golovkin
didn't want it. Golovkin just didn't want it. So there you go.
There's 3 fights for Gonzalez that are the threats for him. There's the Estrada rematch, which should happen. There's I'm Not Ruin Wrong, which could happen, but I'm not too up on promotional differences.
It's a horrible fight.
Politics. It's going to be a disgusting fight, and obviously now you're in a way super flyweight. But that seems to be a ways away, and he was injured, to be fair.
You could potentially get 2 of those next year, though, couldn't you?
But basically, they've gave you 2 of the best fighters in the world on the same card, fighting the best possible opponent they could get right now, right?
And that's why I think I can understand why there is a price tag. I don't agree with pay-per-view in any way.
Fuck man, you don't pay for it anyway, so it's you. Right, what they've got on the undercard is it's going to be Golovkin or Lemieux's next opponent, which is going to be Eamon O'Kane, who I think fucking Terry Arnold Johnson will beat. Right, so that's going to be the fight in the meantime.
Terry Arnold Johnson will probably be Golovkin's next opponent, yeah.
Right, but that's unless like Andy Lee beats Billy Joe and they take that fight, Andy Lee takes the fight in maybe say about March, right? Then what you're going to get is they're going to try and fucking go for this Cotto Canelo fight at the end of next year. They've got a game plan, so they've got his next opponent on the undercard, and they've got Louise, that junkie bastard. Who gives a fuck? I hope he gets knocked out.
So we're saying September next year is going to be Golovkin against Canelo. Or
unless fucking PB keeps out of retirement, he fucking wipe everybody clean out.
I'll tell you what, Alex, let's say next September we get Canelo, Golovkin, and then on the undercard we get Estrada Gonzalez 2. I'd pay pay-per-view for that. There you go, no problem. I'll pay $50, $60 for that.
I'd suck Rocco's balls if that happened.
Can I just say quickly? I'm very happy. I pay for Box Nation. I'm very happy that Box Nation is showing this. And if I wasn't a subscriber, I would sign up this month because I want to see Golovkin-Lemieux. I think it'll be a fun fight. I just don't think in itself it's worth pay-per-view. That's really my only point. And I don't mean to be like a hater because obviously I love him.
I agree with you.
He's great. Sorry, Cal, you wanted to jump on, mate.
No, that was fine. You brought yourself back a bit there at the end. Well done.
Hello,
you backtracked a bit.
I don't hate him. I think he's great. I just think people saying that should be ranked higher than these guys like Rigondeaux and stuff like that. It's just they're getting way ahead of themselves.
So how?
But Rigondeaux can fuck off as well. He hasn't fought for about fucking 12 years.
Okay.
I hate all these people who are on the list when
we can't have this argument.
Good win.
If you're ranking a guy with no elite wins above a guy who has elite wins, that just doesn't make any sense. You can't do it. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, but how far back do you go? That's the thing.
I don't put Andre Ward in yet because all he's done in fucking living memory is beat fat Paul Smith. Fuck that.
Yeah, but I think Ward is quite clearly still in fighting shape and still has all his skills. So of course you have to put him in. I think.
No, you don't. You don't. If you don't put some.
Have to have him top 2. Ward hasn't lost a step. If you can't do that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Ward is top 2.
Fuck off. He's fought Paul Smith in 2 years.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter who he's fought.
It does. Of course it does.
Ryan, he's still got the wins. Those wins don't evaporate just because they were 2.5, 3 years ago.
Well, neither does Danny Garcia's, but no cunts got him in the top 10 when he was in the top 10.
Because Garcia's arguably lost the one,
but he's not lost. That's the fucking point.
He has. He clearly lost to Herrera.
But you can't decide to give someone a loss when officially he's got the win.
Well, you gave Ricky Burns a win when he officially got the win.
No cunt still rates Roy Jones Jr. at the top because he beat fucking James Toney in the 90s. Fucking joke.
I know you can't put Lennox Lewis in just because he's still in probably fighting shape. He could still beat some of them heavyweights now, but you can't just pop him in number 2.
There is
fucking
a cut-off point.
Shane Mosley's in fucking tremendous shape. He's not in there.
He's a junkie though.
Where has this conversation come from?
I don't know. I've lost track. I don't even. What was that? I was about to say something smart there, and he's fucking dragged me right into this.
I still think Andre Ward is the second best fighter on the planet.
I agree with you, Chef. I'm with you there.
I think give Ward another year and he'll be number 1 again because I think he's better than Gonzalez. He just needs to get back in the groove.
So who's he going to beat then in the next year to get him number 1?
Kovalev.
Is he the fight Kovalev and loser?
I will say I think that's an unbelievably close fight, and I don't know who I'd pick honestly. Kovalev Ward.
I'll tell you, he'll win. Kovalev will smash him.
You know what? I've actually noticed here that Shep is the blackest white man I know.
Yeah.
He's totally hating on the white man.
White people, mate, to be honest.
That's basically what it is. You've got a nice fucking looking Asian wife, and for some reason your brain's been corrupted and you're hating the white man.
I've got a feeling he lives in Tottenham.
Aye, so he does. I bet you're at the Tottenham riots. What you looting, you dirty bastard?
Your theory is the man who's married to an Asian hates Asians because Golovkin's Asian. He's got a Korean mum.
Aye, but so
I hate him.
My mum's a proddy, but it doesn't mean I'm an arsehole.
Your mum's lovely. Right. Okay. So I hate white people.
You're basically a bell end, Shep.
I'm a bell end. All right. Well, when
Shep Fairn, Spencer Fairn's boy.
When Cotto beats Canelo and then beats Lemieux, you'll all owe me an apology, right? And when
Twitter will be deleted. I'll be off.
If Carl beats everybody, I'll just go on a fucking year's troll, man. I'll be like that.
Canelo, I'm going to be devastated, honestly.
If Carl wins all these fights, I'm going to turn into David Lee, just a wee fucking long-necked trolling bastard. I hope you get fucking knocked down with a yellow taxi in New York, you fucking wee clown.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the camera.
Camera loves you, Brian.
Oh, fucking big time.
Right, okay, so I'm going to do very quickly, just finish up on Golovkin-Lemieux. I'm going to give you all an over-under on various things. Right, I want an over-under on... I'm going to set the line. You tell me if you think it goes higher or lower than this. Let's do pay-per-view buys, and I'm going to set the line at 180,000.
Lower.
Sam's saying lower, okay?
I think
180,000.
I think it does just over 200. I think it does make the 200,000 mark.
You think it does slightly better than we expect?
Well, I just think that, like, psychologically, subconsciously, whatever, people will think over there that $50 isn't much to pay for something because they're paying 75 to 100 for the rest of the time. They'll actually think, oh, that's no bad. And it's quite right what Americans tell me all the time. They don't see these prices as extortionate because they all hate house parties. Whereas I would rather sit and watch boxing myself because I hate people.
Yeah. I guess if you're sharing the cost between 10 of you, it's not too bad, is it?
If you share it between like fucking 100 of you, it's practically nothing. So if you got about 100 people in your house, you're getting pay-per-view for fuck all.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've got 100 friends though, to be honest.
I bet he just was. You just tweet somebody and just have a bail-in.
Cal, over under 180,000.
Over, I think it'll do about 250.
That's mental. That's mental. Alex?
You are a hater.
Right, what are we talking? I just got back.
What 180,000 is the line on pay-per-view buys. What do you think, over or under?
It's going to do 8 million.
Ooh. Tricky.
Oh, I tell you, if that does that number, I'm getting a GGG hat. Fuck TB. I'm riding that train like a fucking pony.
Right. Rounds. I'm going to set the line at 3 rounds. Over or under?
Over.
Over? This is for the main event, by the way, sorry.
3 rounds, did you say?
3 rounds is the line. Over or under?
Set it at 3.5, Shep, because if you do it at 3, there's draws.
Alright, Adam Smith.
No. As in, if anything happens before the end of the 3rd round, right?
Okay.
If you want over, it's got to be from the 4th round on.
Yeah, okay. I go over then, just.
Okay. Brian?
I'm going the draw because I thought.
It'll be a draw on the card.
No, I just think it'll be a draw, as in like I'll finish after the 3 rounds.
No, that's no choice. Over or under.
I don't like doing the under. Then I don't like doing the. Oh, this could be the Hagler Hearns, because everybody ends up using the Hagler Hearns. But I think that I've always said that the only way to fight Golovkin is to fucking go head on with him. See, like kind of try to box him, it's not going to work. So the best way to fight Golovkin is just to fucking meet him in the middle, just try to fucking knock him out.
Just try and land a perfect punch. Yeah, absolutely.
See if you watch like Monroe, he had the most success when he was up against his chest. When he was backing off and trying to box him, that's when he was getting hurt.
That's genuinely why I give Andy Lee the best shot out of anyone to beat him in that division, because he has got that mental one punch that could land.
What did Andy Lee say?
He would chin Golovkin if he landed flush on him. I don't think anyone else has enough one punch power to knock him out.
Andy Lee turned around and says that if I fought Golovkin, it'd be the best 3-round fight you'll ever likely to see, because I know that somebody's getting knocked out. He knows that himself, so you just need to go and fight him. And I think this could be like, I think Golovkin will box for a couple of rounds because he's not stupid. He knows Lemieux carries power. He might box, but I do think that after about 3 rounds, it's just going to fucking get a tear up. Okay,
so you think he might do like Curtis Stevens, be a bit careful at the beginning and work his way in?
Exactly. But see what this is a no-win situation for Golovkin, because see if it goes early, they'll all say that Lemieux is a bum. Right, if it goes late, they'll turn around and say he's a hype job. Right, so what I want is I just want it to be a fucking tear up. Just so
both.
I basically just fucking, if it's a tear up, then people will just say, aye, that was a good fight. Then they'll maybe just talk about that, because I do think for some reason Golovkin gets some fucking crazy hate.
I think
and he's the most entertaining guy out there to watch.
Alex, can you shut up? Brian's talking. Go on, mate.
Fucking hell, I lost my point now. I think that maybe if yeah, I understand what you're saying about that they'll call him they'll call Lemieux a bum or a hype job, depending on the result. But I think that if we do witness Lemieux going out there bomb swinging and he just gets fucking laid out because of it, maybe people will realise that was Lemieux's own fault and that was his game plan, because that was the only plan that he's really got, and I think that's the only chance he's got, because he's not outboxing Golovkin. We know that, and it's sad how much people really shit on the fact that it happens all the time with punchers. I think you say, oh, a guy's a puncher, therefore he can't be a very good boxer. But Kovalev and Golovkin and all these Eastern Bloc guys have proven otherwise. That they are excellent boxers, and I think Lemieux's no chance of outboxing him. So what he's got to do?
He'll get broken down, won't he? He'll get broken down over.
Absolutely. I mean, like you say, he's got those little T-Rex arms. He's not going to fucking outbox him. He's just got to go in there and try and wing in a massive fucking chocolate brownie.
Yeah, I said, imagine if Lemieux dropped that in like the pre-fight interview. Like, I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to land the chocolate brownie.
Oh, lad.
Fucking amazing.
Do you think
I'd pick him.
Will be before the third round, so 1-3. Golovkin's 11-4 in 1-3, which isn't bad, is it?
Yeah, but it's like Bran said. It's whether he's. I think if he wants to, he could do him in 3. But it's whether he's going to be careful for the first couple of rounds. Because I think he could have done Stevens in 2 rounds, but he was careful. He wanted to.
He always has the first round where he just like looks him out, doesn't he? He doesn't really do much in the first round. He just wins because they just move back from him the whole time. I think Lemieux will just run at him like a fucking cannon.
If I'm Lemieux, the second I get even slightly buzzed, I just go all guns blazing. Out like throw as.
But does he want to
as you can?
Does he want to be put in a coma? I mean, that's what he's got to ask himself.
He's a pure righty man as well, isn't he? What a fucking right he is.
He looked fucking terrified in that face-off. Have you seen that face-off?
Alex, right, I agree with this. Has everyone seen the face-off?
Yeah.
I'm not watching that shit.
I read a load of interviews saying, oh, Lemieux looked really cool and he held his ground. And I was like, he looked like he was shitting himself to me. Like, he looked like he was looking in like Abel Sanchez's eyes and just thinking, yeah, they've got my number here. Like, I don't think I'm going to win. And his trainer said fuck all. His trainer just clearly knows, it's gonna be over quickly.
It should have just been a 24/7.
Shitting on Lemieux.
I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying I think he's in over his head.
Happen, don't they? I mean, the intimidation factor is always a factor. I mean, I'm not trying to compare Golovkin to Mike Tyson, but in a similar situation, Mike Tyson and Spinks. Tyson won that before Spinks got in the fucking ring. He just, Spinks was absolutely shitting it. He was fucking gone.
And as soon as Tyson realised he couldn't intimidate Lewis, you could see in his face he knew he couldn't win because Lewis wasn't scared at all. And
exactly.
Yeah, you're right. But I don't know. I'm not sure if Golovkin necessarily thinks about that side of it too much. I think he seems like a.
Yeah, he's not a vicious, horrible bastard like Kovalev.
Yeah, Kovalev. You can. Yeah.
Well, Kovalev was pissing himself when Pascal was like chicken dancing all around the ring, didn't have a clue what was going on.
Shit.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Why do you like Margarito so much?
Because this is a real can of worms. You really want to talk about this?
But
I will school you, and this is going out live.
There you go.
Because I think he's got the best chin I've ever seen, which is brilliant. And he's also I think he's got the biggest heart I've ever seen in a fighter.
Right,
in terms of zero quit.
Right, but he's got a no contest and a technical decision loss against Daniel Santos. Is that basically that's like Lemieux? Why didn't you turn your back on fucking Margarito after he had a loss early on in his career?
Because Margarito turned pro when he was like 15, didn't he?
I don't give a fuck if he turned pro when he was 4. he still took a loss earlier on, but you didn't turn your fucking back on him. But it's because it's Lemieux, you just hate.
But Lemieux took back-to-back losses as soon as he stepped up.
Aye, but one of them, his trainer. There was something to do with his trainer.
Okay, look, maybe I'm guilty of underrating Lemieux a little bit, but I see a lot of cracks in his armour. Do you know what I mean?
Do you see the quit in him? That's a big shout out to you.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't. No, I'm not saying I see a quit in him. I maybe see a little bit of doubt in him when he looks at Golovkin and when he talks about the fight. I'm not saying I think he's going to quit. I don't think he'll quit. I think he'll go out on his shield. I think he's a very brave fighter, but I just don't think he's got. I don't know. I don't think he's maybe got the belief that he's going to win.
But that just goes for everybody in that division, though. I don't care if it's. I know people are high on Canelo or he'll fight MD, but I can tell you one thing: see if that fight gets signed, you'll see Canelo fucking shiting it as well. As soon as he gets hurt the first time, he'll be fucking arse caved right in. We've seen him getting punched non-stop off of Floyd, who's no hard hat, and he was getting confused to shit. Just wait till Golovkin fucking.
I've always said it. I think Canelo wanted to quit in the Floyd fight. I think if his corner had thrown the towel in, he wouldn't have complained. I genuinely think after about 9 rounds, he looked like he wanted to quit. But
TBE, bang.
The best.
I think Canelo's a much more matured fighter from then. I mean, that was like 2 years ago now. I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh,
He's
but
matured massively since then.
so Canelo's matured after a loss, but Lemieux can't he? Oh, is this the way we're going here?
I never said that.
Brian, they haven't fought the same people. Your point would be valid if they'd fought the same opponents. But Canelo has fought like a murderer's row in that division since then.
Please.
Lemieux
beat Gabe Rosado.
Right, everyone beats Gabe Rosado.
But who beats Gabe Rosado like that?
What do you mean? Loads of people have knocked Rosado out. What are you talking about? Oh, dear. Rosado's done as well, and Lemieux got to him at the end. It's not like 3 years ago.
You're just hating on the white man. I bet you're not even going to watch this because two of them are white. I bet you love...
No, mate, after the Turiano fight, I'm turning it off. I'm going to bed.
I bet you do. I bet you sit and watch fucking Curtis Woodhouse and Dan Hamilton saying, I wish these two could be a draw because they're two mad brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Christian Vancouver is the best middleweight in the world. Right? After his dad. Right, anyway. Okay, so we're saying it's a pretty mixed bag, but people think it won't go too many rounds, and people think the pay-per-views might surprise us a little bit. That's the impression we got.
I see this being a fight of the year type fight. It'll not last long, but it'll be fucking decent.
Well, mate, it's been such a weak year, honestly. Like a half-decent 6-rounder could get fight of the year this year. Think about it. Like there have been no 5-star fights this year at all. It's awful. But anyway, that's the fault of the matchmakers, I suppose. We've also got, obviously, Golovkin-Lemieux is the main one, but we've got some other fights coming up in the next few days. We've got Devin Alexander's back against the guy who should have been...
Team Christianity.
Yeah. Devin, my man, I'm bringing up... Because Devin's...
Straight stars.
Devin's fighting Aaron Martinez, the guy who should have beaten Guerrero in, in April or something. Get well fight for Alexander, I suppose. I think he's fairly obviously past his best. That'll be quite a boring decision, I imagine.
Or if he gets fucked.
Sorry, Alex, go on.
Just hope he gets fucked. Can't stand him.
Who?
I'm thinking about putting a little bet on Martinez in that fight. I don't know. I just feel like he's ready to be taken by a younger fighter. I just don't know if Martinez is good enough.
But you hate Devin?
I don't hate him. I just think he's well past his best.
I'm totally confused here now. Devin's does Alex hate Devin?
Yeah, I hate Devin. He's fucking shit.
So we've got somebody who hates white people and somebody who hates black people. This fucking pod's a disgrace.
Alex didn't like him for his hatred of the gay community.
he got offended about that stretched bumhole.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. We don't need to go into Devin's comments on alternative lifestyles, really. On the undercard of that fight, we've got Montiel versus Selby, which I think we're calling it now, aren't we? That's arguably maybe the worst match of the year so far.
I think Selby could kill him in the ring.
Yeah, genuine. And that sounds horrible, but I could see Selby putting him onto a stretcher. Horrible fight.
Is that as bad as any PBC mismatch so far? Or do you think that's the worst?
I don't know. Peter Quillen's last one, the boy nearly fucking literally died.
Yeah. That was bad. And I know it wasn't PBC, but Garcia Salka, that was just dangerous, wasn't it?
How
that got licensed is absolutely mental. I just do not in New York as well, where the commission's usually pretty good. They must have given them so much money to get that fight licensed.
See if Lenny McLean was living now, he'd got a license for fighting American PBC.
No, but it weren't they didn't give it as the title, did they?
No, that's because Garcia couldn't make 140.
There's 142. The guy's a super featherweight.
I thought it was because the fella weren't good enough. I thought they just said, no, we're not sanctioning that shit.
I think they said we can't have this as a title defence.
So then he turned up overweight.
But then he went, well, okay, I've got no... Yeah, I'll just blow up and do a catchweight then.
We'll be getting Sauer over for Liam Smith's first defence. You wait and see.
Sauer's he's the equivalent of like a sort of Ricky Boylan sort of level. Like he's an area level guy in the States, and it was like you stick him in with the biggest puncher 2 divisions above his weight. It's just horrible. Like such a horrible fight, and they sold the fucking arena out. It's just interesting when you think about it. Okay, so Selby Montiel, we don't really need to give a prediction on that one. And then we've got Fonfara Cleverly the day after. I think that's on the Friday, and that's actually a pretty good fight, I think.
Is that this week?
That's on Friday, 16th. Yeah.
I must have missed that. Did they talk about that in the boxing asylum?
I think they forgot about it.
I think you guys might have missed that one, Alex, actually, right? I don't know if that was mentioned.
Barker never fought Sturm.
Right, guys, predictions on Fonfara Cleverly. Cal, you were saying earlier you were going to put some money on Fonfara.
I did, but the price has got a lot worse.
Oh, really?
Obviously, everyone's putting money on Fonfara. Yeah, he's 4-9 now.
Yeah, that's not great.
And Cleverly's nearly 2-1. Cleverly's 15-8. So I'm not. Yeah, I'll probably put money on Fonfara knockout.
I would have put money on Cleverly if it was at least 3-1, but no, I do fancy Cleverly in this. I think that. Well, maybe. I mean, his cruiserweight adventure is obviously. What the fuck is Brian doing?
Brian, don't, mate. Don't even think about it.
Maybe he's
Can I turn his video off? I don't have control of it.
Trust it. Are we trusting?
Brian!
What?
Don't do it.
I'm charging it. I'm putting my charger in.
All right. Okay. Fine.
But you're getting your fucking
Seriously, I saw something that looked suspicious for a minute in the corner of the screen.
What were we talking about?
You were saying, mate. You think Fonfara's? Sorry, you think Cleverly's got a chance in this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I always rated him at light heavyweight Cleverly. I thought that he was very underrated simply because he was fighting just absolute trash all the time and he wasn't having the opportunity to step up. I mean, obviously he fought Kovalev, and Kovalev's just an absolute monster, and I think it's unfair to dismiss him because he got splattered by Kovalev. Yeah. And the cruiserweight adventure, I think, was just a cash grab against, the prick Bellew himself. So I think that maybe he's got a good chance against Fonfara. I do.
He could outwork him, couldn't he? Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Clev. Apparently he has got a decent chin on him. I don't think Fonfara hits as hard as Kovalev, certainly. And
Fonfara's got a good chin, though. Really good chin.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Clev's going to knock him out. I just think that his work rate is fantastic. And if he's retained his stamina, I mean, the move up from cruiserweight and then back down might have knocked his stamina a little bit, cutting off all that muscle. But I do think that he's got a chance, but I wouldn't bet on him unless it was at far wider odds. Unfortunately,
I feel like he's going to do really well to kind of stop Fonfara's pressure. Do you know what I mean? Because I just don't think he's going to be able to bother Fonfara at all with his power, and it'll be. I think it might look a little bit like the who's the Spanish guy? I forget his name. Who fought got knocked out by Beterbiev recently. What's his name?
Campillo.
Campillo, sorry. When he fought Fonfara, and he was moving around the ring nicely, smooth bit of boxing, nice jab, and he was landing some quite clean shots on Fonfara, but he couldn't put a dent in him at all. And then Fonfara once he slowed down, Fonfara got to him and knocked him out. And I think it might look like that. But I agree with you that
Clev's not really a slick fighter, though, is he? Clev wants to get stuck in, and I think that...
And he's going to square up, isn't he, and have little exchanges, and I don't know. And I guess it's really hard to predict. Sam, I don't know what your thoughts are on the fight, mate, but I think it's quite hard to predict Cleverly's frame of mind. Like, I just can't tell if he still cares about titles and that, or if he just wants a bit of money.
Yeah, I was thinking this earlier on. Is he just taking it for a payday, and that's why he ducked the Bramer fight, didn't want nothing to do with it? Because this is much more well paid, obviously, being on the PBC. I think it'll be more even than a lot of people are expecting to be, but I do think Fonfara will win. I'd like Cleverly to win. I quite like Clev for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I want Cleverly to win, but I think he'll get caught up with later in the rounds, get knocked out.
I think the winner of this fight will be in a very good position. Like, it sounds mental, but you could potentially, if Cleverly wins this, you could potentially get Cleverly versus Stevenson later in the year. Early.
Imagine if he beat Stevenson. Imagine Bellew's face.
Cleverly shuts him out. 12-0, absolute schooling. Becomes the lineal. Like,
Knocks him down like 3 or 4 times along the way.
But then you just see Bellew like doing everything, desperately trying to get down to 175.
What, cutting arms and legs?
Yeah, cutting off.
I'm cutting 2 stone no more. Alright.
Cut £25 nice and easy.
You're not even cutting £10 nice and easy, you heavyweight bastard.
Just cut off my leg, nice and easy.
That'd be brilliant. But anyway, I think the average fan is cheering for Cleverly, aren't they? Because he's anything that annoys Bellew is good for the sport.
And he's a pisshead, so good luck to him.
I think this is a hit or a miss fight. We don't know what Cleverly's got left at 175. His trainer's absolute fucking trash, right? But if he's getting...
I'm sorry, on that, has he changed trainers? Is he still with that same guy?
Welsh fella, isn't he?
That fitness instructor?
Yeah, that like sort of weird bastard who wears a snapback and like.
Yeah, they still with him, is he? Bloody hell!
That's
not a good sign.
No, it's not. That's one thing you need to question with Cleverly. He didn't want to like kind of like stick with Adam Booth because he's in London, and Booth, as a lot as I've been told, is quite expensive. But at the same time, if you want a right good trainer, sometimes you need to fucking go above and beyond. But he sticks with his conditioning coach, who has never been a trainer in his life. But if he's got anything left, I think Fonfara is like one of the patchy fighters where one fight he can look good, and then another fight he could look fucking terrible. So it's just if it Chavez is shite. We've all known that he's a fake Chavez, although he's a bit like his dad, who quite a few times.
Do you think Cleverly beats Chavez?
I think everybody beats Chavez. I fucking never liked Chavez.
You don't think Chavez could maybe get to Cleverly late? Maybe
no.
No?
No, I did.
Depends on his frame of mind, doesn't it?
Sorry, Alex, say again, mate.
Like we're saying, it basically depends what Cleverly wants from the sport. Is he here just for the money, or does he actually fancy winning, a couple of good fights and a title again? If he's there for the money, then I don't think he's asked. He's trying to beat Fonfara.
I agree with that. Look, see with Cleverly, though, I didn't know much about Kovalev before he came over here, right? Granted, like a few people were like that, but
I put money on fucking Cleverly to win that fight because Bunt put it in his fucking column. I put 20 quid on Cleverly. I've never felt so stupid betting on a fight. I didn't know anything about Cleverly either. I knew nothing about him.
I rated Cleverly that highly. I really, really did, because I thought that his punch output put so much of it. It's a bit like Kalzagi, where maybe like the punches wouldn't land, but they threw that fucking many that it was
the other guy can't get anything done.
Yeah, exactly. And I said that Hopkins was tailor-made for him. I was like, Hopkins would not be able to fucking handle somebody throwing that amount of punches. That's the fight I wanted. And I also said if he fought Froch, that I do think they gave fucking Froch some serious issues. Because Froch can't handle that sort of fucking fighter either, that just constantly throws punches at him and moves, right? But he just made like the one guy. But see if he does get anything left in him, I think Cleverly...
But his style relies on stamina so much. Relies on being able to do the rounds.
It's just... Yeah. The problem with 175 is you've got two guys that are fucking so far and away better than the rest of them, and the two of them carry serious power that, and you've got that fucking pure murderer like Baterbev coming up as well. So you've got three guys there that are fucking butchers. That if he beats Fonfara, he gets to I think he's guaranteed the Stevenson fight if he beats Fonfara.
They might stick him in with Baterbev. That'd be horrible.
I know he's going for Kovalev's IBF belt.
Yeah, well they're going to try and get him to vacate, aren't they? Such a fucking mess, that division. Anyway, okay, but we're all I think, has anyone picked Cleverly? Alex, did you say you might pick him?
Fuck it, I'm rating it. I'm going with wee Dewey and Lawrence. Come on!
You're going Cleverly, all right.
Come on, half bastards.
I'm going Fonfara late stoppage, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to let my heart win out. I'm going to pick Cleverly as well.
God!
Good man. Can't wait for next week's show.
Celtic brothers together.
And in terms of other fights in the next few days, I mean, Andre's fighting, but it's a comeback fight. Opponent's not up to much. And then it's the Battle of Brum, Brian, which I think you're going to, aren't you, mate? You got your VIP ringside seats for that?
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, Battle of Brum's at the weekend, I think.
I'm not fucking watching that shit. I'll go to the cinema and watch Sicario or something like that. I'm not fucking staying in and watch that guff.
You go to the cinema on your own?
Well, I fuck it. See if I can fucking meet some fat, vulnerable fucking slag.
Right. Is anyone
In fact, I won't be able to do that because Graham's always fucking floating about with him.
Sorry, Sam, say again, mate.
Well, I cancelled Sky Sports earlier on because I thought, fuck this, I'm not paying for this shit anymore. They lost the football, and now they're just putting on shit like this. I had enough, I just cancelled it.
Aye, alright, Alex.
You get BT, mate, to be honest. Yeah.
I have Fox Nation still, but I ain't fucking paying for Sky. I'm not.
What a cheap fucking bastard. The only guy that pays for all this, everything, is the guy from Scotland that gets called a miserable tight bastard.
What, Andy Patterson?
Ah, hello! Age-ridden brother.
Right, guys. I'm going to finish just with a couple of questions from our beloved fans. I don't know. You may not have an answer, but I'll put them out there anyway. Cal, you there?
Yeah, mate.
Number 1, Lee Froch, who has got his debut in the next few weeks. If Lee Froch,
I've seen that.
If Lee Froch wins, who would you next put him in with? I think he's fighting at heavyweight.
I'd go for that Ortiz that's fighting on Saturday.
What, the guy, some roided up puncher?
And I hope he's on a big cycle. Like, go for the super duper fucking heavyweight, and he just comes in about 450 pounds, like Mark Henry, and just fucking crushes him.
You'd put him in with Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. The other one, Brian, next one for you. Is Liam Smith, I don't know if this is true, is Liam Smith the first MGM fighter to ever win a fight? No? I can't think of any. I'm really struggling to think of any others. Did Tom Stalker win at the weekend? I think he might have got another draw, right?
No, true.
The captain.
Drew again. Fuck's sake. Oh my God, that guy.
Did he beat Louise?
Well, he didn't.
And fucking Jamie Conlon had a right good fucking
Oh yeah,
fight.
Jamie Conlon won, didn't he? Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Should have been stopped.
Yes.
Maybe so, but the fucking wee man fucking bit down in his gum shield and fucking won that fight. Excellent fight. In fact, that's probably the fight of the year.
Yeah, maybe it is actually, and it should have been.
Come on, Ireland! Come on!
Cal
Here we go, Brian O'King.
Brian
I
O'King.
know you're there.
Ireland,
Right.
together standing tall.
That is the worst anthem, by the way. Honestly.
I'm from Oldham, I'm a virgin, and I can't order my Irish. I know you're there.
Right, I've got one last question, and I'm going to direct it to the panel. I want a yes or no from all of you. If Frankie Gavin bumped into Billy Joe Saunders, would he think his birthmark was a piece of pepperoni? Yes or no?
This is childish.
That's not a yes or no answer. What I think is like the two of them are for fucking different gypsy clans, and one would pull out a machete, and the other one would pull out a fucking sledgehammer and say, come on, I know you're fucking there. Then the two of them start charging. The next thing you know, Tyson would jump out a caravan and say, hello! And then he'd run up, and then fucking we'd take all the fucking London gypsies, and then just be like Anchorman, where they'd all just fighting. The end.
Right. That's your prediction. A mass Anchorman like battle royale.
With all the triples.
Okay, brilliant. And on that note,
and Aisha would support every one of them.
Team everyone. Yeah.
Team winner.
Oh dear. Well, this has been fun, guys. We'll wait and see what the reaction is, but we might do maybe half the pods live and half of them pre-recorded. We'll see.
But, can I show the camera?
Don't do it, mate. Honestly. It keeps popping up on Sam's image. I'm breathing heavily. It's fucking weird. Sam's just panting at his computer. Oh dear. Anyone got any closing thoughts to add about Golovkin being a hype job or anything? Or do you just want to look stupid when he loses? No?
Just briefly on the Birmingham show, I was looking earlier, and without the main event, that's probably the worst Sky show of the year, and they've had some tough competition. It is fucking horrendous.
Can you give me the rundown?
Worst Sky Show since the last Sky Show.
Let's hate on this for a couple of minutes. Come on.
Give me the card.
Rundown is one of the year fives against Cunningham, and I'd never heard of him. So
Steve Cunningham.
that'll be shit.
That's a great fight.
That's Cunningham in a cheeky. How you fuck?
Wellborn against Macklin, and the only interesting thing about that is will he be able to come in on weight?
Is he well a bit?
No, that's at 154, isn't it?
No, but is that boy
Yeah.
is that boy
Yeah,
not a well a bit?
Wellborn is.
He's a feather, Wellborn.
Wellborn got knocked out by fucking Frankie.
Tiny.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a horrible.
And what's the other fight? Another year fives fighting someone else. That'll be shit. And then
That
the
TBA
final
still.
fight.
No, it's some like foreign name that if I try and pronounce, Rocco will go have a fit.
Some foreign name, ladies and gentlemen. It's some foreign
And
name.
is there one more fight on there? Oh yeah, Eggington against this guy that beat him back
Dale
in the day.
Evans.
But he's shit as well. He lost
So-
to that
Go
fucking
beat him
Larry-
and it's barely
he
out.
lost to Larry Akinwelmar or something in his last fight.
Right.
So what we've basically got here is we've got somebody that hates the white man, hates the black man, and hates foreign names. This is fucking tragic, man. This is like the film Romper Stomper.
We've got three racists.
Ow.
A guy in a gimp mask. That's the panel. Oh well. I don't know who's the odd one out who's pulling us all.
and Sam's for Bristol.
Yeah, and Sam's a-
But can't you all just pick which is the worst fight of this card and which one you're definitely not going to watch?
I'm definitely not watching
Macklin
the
Wellborn is the worst fight on that card because Macklin, if he wins, will start talking about a world title immediately.
Macklin won't make weight.
He's already
Macklin-
been talking about it. It's been into Twitter and that the day that they're saying that after this fight he's going to be looking for a world title.
Yeah, it's absolutely outrageous. I don't know how he can still get away with it, honestly.
Stephen Smith. Oh, sorry, fucking Liam Smith.
Who is
There's a name.
now?
Liam Smith against Macklin, you reckon?
Aye.
Who is training Macklin now? Is it Moore, or has he gone back to Gallagher again? Or
I don't know, actually.
His brother is training him, I think, is he not?
Yeah.
he's
No,
definitely.
his brother's training Pacquiao, I think, now.
But
How is Macklin?
James Macklin's trainer of the year, mate.
He's got a couple of kilos of coke shoved up his ass as well.
Do you know that
Have you
fella
seen-
that got hit by Spike O'Sullivan and then they chucked the chair at him?
Fits.
What was he called? Fitzgerald or something?
Yeah.
Oh, Fitzgerald.
I saw him in a fight with Seamus Macklin maybe a month or two ago, and it was literally the worst performance I've ever seen. He was like a 1-to-100 against this guy, and he was getting absolutely schooled for 8 rounds, and he still managed to win.
Fitzgerald is one of the
He is fucking
most
shit.
badly conditioned players. Honestly.
He is fucking awful. He looks like he's just come from the pub every time he steps.
I'm in better shape, genuinely. I reckon. Yeah, we're all in better shape than him.
I would just really like to say that I do not endorse anything that's said about MG and my better gym here. I like the gym and I like everybody that's associated with it, so please do not involve me in any of this.
Oh, fuck drugs as well. You love some of their gear. You get the chance.
Here's a question. Here's a question for the panel. Who is a better trainer, Seamus Macklin or that Tim Lane out the cage guy? Who's better?
Tim Lane.
Tim Lane.
I reckon Tim Lane. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he
got his fighter through a 12-rounder against Pacquiao.
Yeah, exactly.
How many fighters has Seamus done that with? None.
He could barely get his fighter through. He can't even get him through one round with O'Sullivan, can he? He got chinned in the first round.
He can't.
He is the biggest puncher in the world, though.
Honestly, he is. I think he's the worst trainer I've ever seen. I haven't been watching the sport for my entire life or anything, but he's the worst trainer I've ever seen. I think.
Who's worse, Packy Collins or Seamus Macklin?
Racist.
Oh yeah, this is getting racist against Irish now as well.
It's xenophobic now. This is going to fucking shit. I don't know. I would say that.
No, Packy Collins has at least got some of his guys some wins. For fuck's sake, he's miles better than Macklin.
Yeah.
I would say Spencer Farron.
What's the question?
That he's the worst trainer. He basically got a guy that lived in a phone box to get beat off a guy that used to play football.
You're saying Spencer Farron is the worst trainer in the world?
He's fucking shit, man. And Spencer Farron's a fucking drug dealer and all with your wee fucking Savile Row suits. What you all about? Look at you fucking bam.
Don't.
Fucking Spencer Farrell, honestly.
I think
fuck.
we were doing quite well till the last 10 minutes. Eddie
that's-
Hearn comes up, Matchroom's
Then
down, it
what
owns
happened?
us off.
What happened, Cal? You said, "Oh, can't we talk about this card for a minute?" Fuck's sake.
I know, I
We
just
were
wanted
like
to
a clean
spice
break.
I don't know if this card's any worse than like Newcastle, honestly. The
It's not worse
last
than Newcastle. It's not worse than Leeds.
Birmingham show was fucking terrible as well.
Alex, right. Those shows were terrible, but they had like a big draw at the top of the bill.
Yeah.
To Warrington, whatever. A guy who's, at least in the minds of the fans, a guy who's going places. Eggington is like, he's a mid-level prospect in Matchroom. Do you know what I mean?
What level is Warrington, to be fair? Outside of Leeds, where is Warrington going?
Warrington's.
The
I'd
jail.
say they're on
Would
exactly
you
the
say
same
top,
level.
is Warrington top 20 in the world? His weight, maybe. I'd say I put Warrington maybe in the top, at the back of the top 20 in that division, maybe.
Top 20 featherweight, you think, Warrington?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. But I think...
I wouldn't put Eggington in the top 20 welterweights.
Yeah, but that's a much different division.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Warrington's a few fights ahead of Eggington.
Maybe, but he's hardly fucking light years away from him, is he?
Warrington's 12 level.
Did Warrington not win every one of fucking his belts after Selby vacated them?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But all I know is that Warrington, he buzzed and hurt Joel Brunker. Selby couldn't hurt him. And that's a quote from Warrington himself, and he'd know because he was in the ring.
And Warrington won 12 rounds.
Did he really say
Selby won
that?
9 rounds, so that's less than 12. So he's 25% worse.
Did he really say that?
He said Selby never hurt him once.
He knocked him out.
I had him buzzed, and then someone went, Selby knocked him out, and like I think his point was that the referee had stopped it, and Brunker wasn't hurt, but it just didn't make any sense.
Was his response to shout some vile abuse to Germany about the war, like they were doing when they were over there the last time?
There was 10 Germans
No.
in the air.
But the last Birmingham card get fucking shafted on as well. Like somebody pull out, you should never ever pull out. See, even if you know it's 100% you're going to get a fucking win, never pull out. But they done that in Birmingham and they brought fucking big steroid boy in at the last minute. And everybody's like, oh man, we'll go see Joshua. He's the fucking greatest ever. Right? But Birmingham, you know what Birmingham's become? Birmingham's become the new Glasgow, where yous are just getting penetrated up the fucking arse for ticket money. At least we don't get shafted anymore because we don't even get any fights.
Frankie Gavin was brought over so he could headline Birmingham shows.
Oh, that's right.
On a single Birmingham show, yeah.
That's right, he got brought over for Birmingham show and they fucked him on with Brook instead, didn't he? Make that pay-per-view.
Correct.
So
Now he's going on another pay-per-view in December.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, by the way. I don't know how long we've got left of this podcast, but fucking, I just want to say that, tell you what, that Eddie Hearn, he is a cunt.
I think that's a really good note to end it on, actually. Right, guys, thanks very much for joining in. I don't know if anyone's even listening anymore, but we hope you enjoy it when you do listen. And just want to say that, guys, if you've got any messages, I want to say that, yeah, Golovkin-Lemieux a mismatch, and Ricky Burns ducked Adrian Brenner.
I'd just like to say that I keep watching Thatcher stroke video and it's still my hard on. Fuck Thatcher.
Say.
There was 10 German bombers.